In today's training, we'll discuss the presentation script, how it should be used, and how it works hand in hand with the PowerPoint presentation. Let me start out by saying solar is complicated, especially with all the different options that we have to offer to the customers. Now, with flexibility comes responsibility. The goal was to create a comprehensive, standardized, consultative sales process that is both easy for the agent and for the customer to follow and understand. We understand some of you are new to solar sales. Some are experienced sales agents, but are new to Freedom Forever. And some of you are experienced with Freedom Forever. And most of you all hate using scripts because it's unnatural. We understand everyone has their own way of doing things and wants to do what feels comfortable. However, because of all the different options available and all the complexities that go along with them, using this script and presentation is necessary. On the surface, some of you may find the script overly simplistic. Please don't get offended. Knowing that you all have different skill and comfort levels, it had to be written this way for all levels of agent in a uniform manner. Now, many of you have in-house solar presentation experience, and virtual closing is basically the same process. With virtual, you don't have the advantage of being in the same room. You cannot see their body language, their movements, facial expressions, and they can't see yours. You don't have direct contact. You can't shake their hand or pet their dog. Therefore, we have to overcome those hurdles by going the extra mile. The advantage virtual has is that we're using a script, whereas with in-house, we're more or less freestyling. Think about what a huge advantage that is. Think back to when you were in school. Would you rather take an oral exam or would you rather have an open book test? Game plan to follow, offering you direction and allowing you to be laser focused, direct, and to the point with the customer. It's allowing you to remain in control and avoid going down rabbit holes or having the conversation take a turn and you go off to Pluto. As a solar consultant, you must wear many different hats. You're playing the role of a teacher, mortgage broker, contractor, engineer, babysitter, advocate, and psychologist. Not necessarily in that order. Yes, we want to find out what their goals, needs, and wants are, but not at the expense of coming off as a pushy salesperson. Instead, we want to be seen as problem solvers. We're teaching something unorthodox, getting people to that aha moment. Now, let's face it, everybody hates change. I do, you do, and certainly the people that we're presenting do, the customers. Everybody hates change. Now, customers don't know they have a problem, or if they do, don't know how bad that problem is. It's our job to point it out, make them feel the pain, and then offer them the solution to make them want to go through the change. Therefore, we have to uncover their true pain points. When it all comes down to it, what we're really doing is selling change. Basically, we're taking them on a journey to get them to arrive at the destination of our choosing. Now, the following video clip is from Taylor McCarthy's Solar Sales Training Seminar. For those that don't know, Taylor is one of the best solar training people in the industry. If you have not checked out Taylor, I'd advise you to do so. You can look him up. He has his own channel on YouTube. In this video, Taylor is illustrating how to take someone on that journey. He's demonstrating an old card trick that my dad actually showed me about 30 years ago. He also learned it from Tom Hopkins, who is the GOAT in the sales training industry.
And I'm going to be an example of how effective questioning works. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to, without looking at it, I want you to pick one of these cards. Any one of the cards, but don't look. All right, so can everybody see that card? Okay, everyone sees it. Okay, so we're going to put it back on the deck. You did not see that card, correct? Okay. So let me ask you, have you ever played cards before?
Yeah.
Have you ever played poker?
No.
You haven't, okay. And if I'm not mistaken, how many cards are there in a deck?
52.
There is, okay, 52 cards in a deck. And there's different colors in the deck. Do you know what colors those are?
Red, black, red and black.
Red and black, exactly, okay. And the red would consist of the diamonds and the hearts, and the black would consist of the clubs and the spades. If you were to pick between the red or the black, which would you choose?
The red.
The red, okay, that's a good choice. And the red would leave you with two different colors, which would be the hearts, and then you would also be left with the diamonds. Now, if you were to pick between the hearts or the diamonds, which would you choose?
The hearts.
The hearts, and that would leave you with one only remaining option, which would be the diamonds, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were left with the diamonds, there's two different numbers. There's like the numbered cards, and then there's, I forget what they're called, the face cards, that's what it is. So there's number cards and there's face cards. If you were to pick between the face cards and the numbers, which would you choose?
Face cards.
Which would leave you with just the numbers remaining.
Yeah.
Now, do you like the low numbers or do you like the high numbers?
High.
High numbers, okay, that's a good choice. And if you were to define 7, 8, 9, and 10 being the high numbers, and obviously you were left with the diamonds, if you were to pick two between the 7, 8, 9, and 10, which would you choose?
8 and 10.
8 and 10, good choices. So you have the 8 or the 10 of diamonds. Out of those two, which would you choose?
The 8.
Which would leave you with one remaining card, and what would that be?
The 10.
Of diamonds, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the card that I showed you guys? The 10 of diamonds. So the example of this is how to use, it's not a magic trick, it's effective questioning. I took his hand and I led him to the answer that I needed him to get to. He made the decision though, not me. I just led him in the direction that he needed to go. Thanks for your help, man. So that's effective questioning, and that was something taught to me by Tom. And once you can understand how to utilize effective questioning, the idea is it's not magic. It's just I'm creating the decision, and that's what we call closing. If you can't create the decision, that's when buyers say no. Something called a circle of persuasion. If you watch a lot of my YouTube videos, that's how I do sales. As I go from building rapport to going into benefits to back into rapport to benefits to rapport to benefits, back to rapport to benefits, and then I work myself closer to yes. I got like Franco Harris in the backfield, and I'm handing him the ball, and he's just doing 3-yard gains every single time, and I'm running out the clock on the other team, and I'm working myself closer to the end zone.
All right, so before we dive in and talk about the script and the presentation, let's talk about mindset. Going into it, you have to realize in the back of your mind, you're not the first person that these people have spoken to about solar. Nor are you the first person to tell them that your company is the best in the industry. These people are prepared and are on guard. Therefore, we need to differentiate ourselves by going that extra mile. Being prepared and taking the time to explain it the right way, building credibility, and taking all their doubts away. We're providing them a reason to say yes and preventing them from canceling. We're not taking any shortcuts and we're not being lazy. Ultimately, the goal is to get the sale, make it stick, get it installed, and get paid for it. The reality is there are no participation prizes or trophies if we get the sale and it cancels. We only get paid if it installs. Do not be looking for instant gratification. There are no shortcuts. You have to put in the work and make the effort. Some agents may think the preliminary work is unnecessary or the script is too long. To put it into perspective, you have the opportunity to make more money than doctors or lawyers. I mean, think about it. If you think about what the average commission is for selling a system, and then you compare it to how many hours you actually have to work to need to make the same amount of money if you were paid, I don't know, $30 an hour. Even if you took an hour to do the preliminary work, 2 hours to get through the presentation, another 2 hours combined for the post-sale process, that's 5 combined hours in total. Even if you only made $5,000 on the sale, that's $1,000 an hour. To make the same money making $30 an hour, you would have to work 167 hours to make the same money. So in other words, we want to work smarter, not harder. Again, we only get paid if the sale sticks and it gets installed. So we want to do the extra work in the beginning, measuring twice and only cutting once. At the end of the day, by putting in the initial extra work, it's going to save us valuable time and effort in the long run.